What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Solomon Abrams here with Ace Tha Domme and her, is it slave? What?
Sub.
Her sub. Their sub. Will I be introducing your sub or just letting sub?
This is X.
Okay, thank you.
Say hi.
Right.
Hi.
All right. Right.
Also known as Kyng the Kitten.
Kyng the Kitten, right. So the reason for this is you staring at that kitten. God damn, that's funny. That is funny.
I'm a very vain girl.
That's cool. It's cool. The camera works if you don't stare at it. It definitely works. It's already working. So we're gonna consider this like I don't want to call it the negotiation because we already had that. I feel that a negotiation comes after an agreement. We have an agreement, we negotiate it. But really just wanted to kind of go back and forth about the things we talked, so that we can have what I described earlier, a kukumu, a clear understanding, a concise understanding, and a mutual understanding, but also kind of lay groundwork for how we're going to communicate the three individuals, but then the two different sides, right? We spoke about the poses, the poses that we're going to do. I wish I had a fly way to describe it, but basically, is that their first suspension or no?
Yes, this will be the first suspension.
Okay, so to that point, I'm going to tie two separate harnesses on them. Okay. Right? And that tie is, so how we're going to prep that is going to be the top part. Mm-hmm. And then we're going to do the part where it's kind of they call it a booty basket, but I don't call it a booty basket. It's a different name, a Japanese name for it, but ultimately we're going to be tying you in the seated position. So with that being your first, it's going to be like double the intensity, right? Okay. So one of the things that we're going to do to mitigate risk and kind of like, and part of that mitigating risk is keeping the time that they're fully suspended to a minimum or to as much as they can handle, right? Okay. In my mind, I might be like, oh, that looks like a lot. And then I look at you and then you looking at X like, nah, they can take a lot more. This is boom, right? And so, but in that though, in those cases where the communication goes, where I'm asking questions, is going to be direct, right? Like when there are two questions I ask typically that sound similar, but I'm looking for two different answers, right? Mm-hmm. So that the question I'll ask is, one will be, how does your body feel? I'm looking for like sensations. Does this hurt? Is it uncomfortable? Those things, right? What's important in that is that, one, I'm not looking for you to tough out. Like I don't need, you don't have to be tough if I can make an adjustment, right? So if, it's my understanding that X is it's a masochist. Right. What we want to do is lock in on good pain and stay away from necessarily bad pain. Okay. Now, with rope, specifically like suspension and those things, we have to flip it upside down because where with impact, it may seem like, oh, my butt's numb, that's a good thing. In rope, if something that was, you had sensation and then suddenly it has no sensation, that is a bad thing. Okay. Right? And so there's some things that X, you won't know until you're in that. But ultimately, there may be some other sensation where it's like, this feels bad, but really good, right? Then there will be what I'll consider like a third in between, right? Where it's like, can this rope be adjusted to make this more comfortable, blah, 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 okay? If you hear me say hands, normally I'll put my hand in your hand, mm-hmm. Right? But if you hear me say hands, I want you to move your fingers, right? So for us, what we're looking for is like, do that right now. Like touch your fingers, right? See how fast their fingers are moving? Let's say we're like hands and we can see that you can see that their hand, like they're trying to move their hands and in their face, it looks like they're moving them, but we know that they're not. That lets us know, okay, there may be, your arm, your nerves are being affected, circulation is being affected, let's start bringing you down. Trying to think what else. Typically what generally happens though is you'll get that sensation, like that prickly sensation, like your leg is falling asleep. That, depending on what your endurance feels like and looks like, I'm not gonna be like, oh, your leg gonna fall off, right? But if it's like, sensation, okay. So like I said, that's the first question where I'll say, how does your body feel? How do you feel is more like internal, right? And typically, there are times where typically I'm working with a solo person, and so then I'll address whatever like internal things, like, okay, if you said this is that, right? But you're here. Right. And so I'll still ask those things, and then you can feel free to ask those things, right? For sure. Also, something we discussed as far as like education and mentoring. Feel free to ask the questions like, hey, from here, it seems this way. What is that? Like, okay, that's this. Right. Or, yeah, just feel free to ask the questions. Some things may look like, it may look good, and you just want to know like, hey, why did you do X versus A? You know what I'm saying? Got it. I'm trying to think what else before I continue. Any questions for me?
I don't have any questions, but I do have a comment. I think my only real concern is going to be how long she's going to be suspended, or how long will be suspended. Is it going to be like a 15 to 30 minute thing, or do you think it'll be longer than that?
I think it'll be shorter than that.
Okay.
Because one of the discussions that we had over the phone was, is this going to be a rope session that we take photos of, or is this going to be a photo shoot? Right. So it's my understanding we're having a photo shoot. Yes. Right. In that sense, we prioritize getting the shot. Okay. Right. I don't need to be suspended for 40 minutes to get 3 shots, because the pose they're going to be in is basically the pose. Right. There's going to be variations. It'll be either legs together, legs spread. Can you point your toe? That's going to be right. The other part, going back to that communication, is like, let's say they're up, and it's like we all step back, and you and I look like, oh, that sucks. It sounds like it sucks. Yeah. It's going to be like with rope, especially with suspension, right? We're going to get to, like, I'm going to say this part and we're going to expound on it. It's different when, if you're doing impact and then it's like red, oh, okay, I can stop. And then if it's like something happened, you're like red or whatever, oh shit, this is fucked up, get me down. Yeah. It still takes, it's just a process of getting you down. Right, like correct. Impact. Okay. Correct. And so there may come those moments where it's like, okay, it's time to come down, we want to change, or it also may look like, oh, they're fine, and we look up, we still got time. Yeah. Then we can make an adjustment, right? Okay. And so if you're asking me from okay, and now that is 2, I'm going to give you 2 answers. Okay. Right. Also with rope, the moment I start, rope is on your body, right? Rope is, you're being tied. So once I start restricting you, you're posing, even if you fold your arms and hold your arms like this, no, nothing will happen. You can do that for hours upon hours. Right. But the circulation to some degree is still affected, your breathing is affected, blah, 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 right? To some degree, even if it's like small variance, right? But once you start tying rope on you, that little effect begins to build, right? So from beginning tied to me saying, okay, I'm done, maybe let's say a weird number like 7 minutes. That's just the top part. Then maybe another 5 to 7 minutes for the bottom part. We haven't began the suspension part. And so let's say all together it may be 30 minutes because it's like, okay, you good. I'm gonna lift, kind of take your tolerances in, this and this, and then we look up 20, 30 minutes of my body. A few pictures, boom, 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 then we start bringing it down. And then the untying process is a lot smoother and easier than the tying process. And depending on photo shoot wise, depending on how they're feeling, how you're feeling, what I also would like to do, we're going a little fake it till we make it, a little Hollywood, y'all ain't heard that here, where I can step back and say, okay, I can photograph you untying.
Okay.
Because that untying part can be, the only word I have is very intimate. It can it's a good time to connect, right? And so that way I can just kind of allow you all to have that moment as you're untying and say, okay, no, you see that part? If you pull down, then you can pull up. Boom, you can do this, you can do that. And then some of it you're gonna see like, okay, I see what's going on here. And then you as the untying in the moment, you're going to be able to feel their energy like, okay, I can hold you, I can do this, I can do that, boom, boom, boom. And so that way you have one, the experience of tying, two, the transition from them coming out of the rope and kind of being in your embrace, and that part is really instantaneous, right? And so it's also a part of that overall learning process, right? And so to wrap that answer up, from start to finish, all together, let's say that'll be 45 minutes.
Okay.
It'll be broken down to something, like I said, 10 minutes or so of tying the harnesses, then another 10 minutes, 15 minutes of up, photos, boom, 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 and down, right? And then another 15, 20 minutes of untying, right? Now, here's going to be a part where I'm going to say, like, it's going to be that sensation, that energy, like dope, right? Now, you, as the as the man, and as the photographer, are going to see a pose, and you're going to be like, no, hold that, right? Right. That may come at a time where we're already starting our descent, like, okay, we can take her down, and then I'll move the rope, and then you'll be like, wait, that may happen.
Okay.
It also may happen that X may be in the rope, and then something, we're like, okay, we can take you down, and then we move one strand, and they're like, oh, it'll be cool if this thing happened, right? We gauge, I'm going to gauge that priorities based on how I'm going to prioritize and be like, no, let's bring them down. It's going to be, I'm gonna look and say, in my expert opinion, let's stop, right? But if they say, oh, I'm good, I can go a little bit, and then you like, okay, we good, a little bit, cool, right? But if it's like, they can't make a decision, and you like, nope, bring my kitten down, boom, it's gonna be that, right?
Okay.
Any other questions before I keep going?
No problem.
Okay. So my communication style in these spaces is direct. Not demanding, but direct, like yes, no questions or yes, no statements.
Okay.
Now, I also understand that, especially with rope bondage, with suspension and these things, there's a large nuance part. So it may be, I may ask a yes, no question, but it may be, this.
Right.
Go with how it feels, and then explain it. So it's like, and then typically that sound tells me where you are. I'd be like, I take that as no, but it may be no, but I think I can do this, right?
Okay.
Or like, maybe. Then tell me what the other stuff is. But let's stick to a one or the other thing, right? Okay. You may also see me say it the other way. Like you may ask, and I'm like, sure. So that's how I communicate. How do you all communicate?
We are also very yes/no people. We also do, when X is gagged, I actually forgot about gag, unfortunately. But when X is gagged, we do hand signals.
Okay.
Close is going to be no.
Okay.
Open is going to be yes.
Okay. Then when in doubt, just say, I don't know, let's get the fuck out of this, blah, 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 blah. For me, I would like it if X can communicate to me if the rope feels wonky, and like, even if you communicate that to you, like, this is under my arm, like, just say how it sounds,
Okay. You do have to ask X for instruction because in subspace, the mind is very blank.
Okay.
So there may not be communication.
Okay.
Often they are very much just trying to please.
Okay.
And so you do have to check for sentience because there's a disconnect between mind and body for this.
Okay, right. I got you. Thank you for communicating that.
Absolutely.
With permission, I would like to be able to touch like check your hand.
Absolutely.
So if you feel my hand in your hand, squeeze it all your mic.
Okay.
So that's why I'm glad you're here. Mm-hmm. So like, if I check and then they just drifted off,
yes,
I might just be like, what do you think?
Right.
Because for the most part, you can see distress.
Yes.
Right. And then what I typically say is, if nothing else, I'm going to make the decision for their safety.
Absolutely.
Right. So like, oh, I could have stayed up 10 more minutes. You probably could have, but you drifted off. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Exactly. But also, here's the other part though. Also, what I don't want to do, since we are going to do the sequence I would like to do is start with the suspension, come down to the floor, we can do the other, like come down to the ground, we can do those other poses, and then build on the other things, right? Okay. And so I don't want to burn them out, and then it's like, oh, I can't do anything.
Yeah.
Right? I'd rather be like, I say, do the basket with the, I hate calling it the booty basket, the booty basket, and then if their arms feel okay, we can leave them in that. But how I'm going to tie it is that typically what needs to be relieved first is the wrist and arms, and then I can untie that and let them fall, and then they can just hold them up, hold them in the back. Then that way we can concentrate on the hair tie. Yeah. And then take all that down, reset, and then do the other pose.
Okay. After we finish the poses that we had already cemented, and you want to do extra, I like to check for batteries with this one. That goes with social battery and everything else as well. So I like to go with percentages, or even if it's like a situation like this where we're more in subspace, full, mid, low.
Right.
So you can definitely always check for battery percentages and just see where they're at. Okay.
And then, like I said, that's one of those things where we got to read and feed off each other, because one of the things that happens with photo shoots that involve kink and those things is that, like, from their standpoint, what typically happens, I see, is that they'll see the photos and it's like, normally it's low, they're like, I think I got a little bit more. I want to like do this more to get that pleasing out of it, those things, right? And so we'll work with each other and figure that out. Okay. Do they have any allergies to like grass?
No.
Okay.
This is a country kid right here. So
that's funny.
Climbing trees, grass, dirt, all that. Just
and they can kneel.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Boom, 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 boom. Any other questions for me?
I don't think I have any questions now. Once you get to tying, I will have lots of questions. Just because this will be my first experience with Shibari. I've done, little tiny things, wrists, ankles, but never any full like harnesses, never any full bondage ties. Most of the bondage experience that I have comes from unconventional materials or cuffs and chains. So rope is just one of those areas I just haven't explored, just because I needed someone like you to really point it out to me. Everything else is easy,
Right. The cuff's cuff.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The tie's tie.
Right. The cuff's cuff.
Even with the wrist to ankle, that's just a really quick position. You're ready to go. But with rope, it's an art. Shibari is an art, and I needed very much a teacher. So I'm grateful that we were able to.
Awesome.
Any questions from you, X? Any comments? No, thank you.
Okay. I don't think I have any questions. I think I went over everything. So we went over everything before.
Yes.
And then we had a quick conversation before. Okay, that's all I got.
Is there anything that you would like to get outside of the 3 things that we talked about? Is there anything you need for your portfolio or anything like that?
No, if anything,
for those sort of things.
No. If anything, with permission, like once if you let me post 1 or 2, I'm cool with that.
Absolutely.
Other than that, or yeah, we can work that out. Yeah, I don't need
we'll go through and select like our number is 3. So we'll go through and select like 3 of them for you to post if you like, or 6 to double up.
Yeah. No. If and allow me to post this video is those things like that.
Yeah,
and if there's energy and time,
Timeless.
right? No, for sure. But also I give all the content. I'm giving you everything, right?
Yeah,
and then you do what you need to do with it.
Yeah.
I lost my whole train of thought. If there's time and energy after everything's done, have that conversation on the back, like this type of a conversation on the back end.
Oh yeah.
Be like, okay.
Aftercare.
The aftercare conversation.
Yeah.
Right? And then for me, I'm home, so time is no thing.
Oh yeah, we cleared our schedule for this.
Okay, right. Okay.
I may order food.
Cool. That's all right. That's cool. That's cool. Right. That's cool. That's fine. Like, all right, yeah, cool. Thank you for asking. No, I mean, order food. All right.
Yeah.
That's all I got. Anything else?
I'm just excited to get started.
Okay, last question, even though I could ask this off camera. With the cuffs, do you want to do that first since it's such a simple thing?
No, I actually would like to start with suspension.
Okay.
And then I want to end on the floor.
Okay.
So that way it'll give them time to ground.
Okay. Awesome. Ooh, and I got a good thing too. I got a grounded thing. Cool.
So that way with suspension, if you have any ideas, we can knock them out while she's already up.
Well, you're gonna see. You'll see. Yeah. Let's end this. All right. So y'all gonna see us on the next end, on the back end, at the aftercare conversation. And with permission, I would like to ask X a lot more direct questions.
Yes, the back end will just be X.
Right. All right. See y'all later. Peace.
Peace.
Bye.